My better people, for today's video I will show now how to make this beautiful style that they see for my screen. So
it's K Fashion and Beauty. Welcome.
So for this dress, I'm going to use 6 yards of African print or Ankara material. So I will go ahead fold them into two. The first thing I want cut now the skirt. Remember I said this now 2-piece dress, now skirt and the top or blouse. So for the skirt, I will go ahead mark my waist. I will come add 2 inch. Then I'll mark my hip line, waist from my waist to get my hip line at 9 inches. I'll go ahead put my hip measurements, add 2 inches for allowance. Then I will connect these lines together. Then I'll go ahead mark the full length of the skirt. I will add allowance for folding it in. I add 3 inches allowance or 2 inches allowance to fold them. So I take fold them for there. I will use line and take turner, but this is not so that it will give perfect finishing. So I'll go ahead connect. You see as I take cover, I will just cover them from the hip line straight go down. So after I cover them, next thing I go do now to cut them. So for this video, I'm not going to go into the skirt pattern because I get another video on how to draft and sew your skirt pattern. So I will drop the link to that video for the description box. So I don't go ahead now cut the skirt. If you notice as I cut them, I make sure say I fold that allowance where I give for folding before I cut them, so that it go dey equal for that end side. Now I will go ahead notch where that allowance dey, so that I will know how many inches I go take fold them in when that dey sew. The next thing I will go ahead do now to cut the back piece. So I will just carry the front, place them on top the back like this. Okay, I fold my material into two, come carry the front, place them, but I'll go add 1.5 or 2 inch for zip allowance. Mind you, I did add this one for zip allowance. The back no go dey exactly like the front. We will add 1.5 inch from the middle side of that front skirt. Then I'll come go ahead, place them, cut them exactly everything. Then that zip allowance side, I'll go ahead open them because now there our zip and our slits go there, so that place no go dey closed. Then I will notch the zip allowance. So don't finish with the cutting of the skirt. I will just go ahead mark the back and front. Now we will go to the upper side of this dress, which is the blouse or the top. So this blouse get half length. So for my half length, my 15 inch, I go add 1 inch, which be 16. But mind you, they use your personal, not my own. You measure your own personal half length. So now the wideness of the wrapper I cut now, so now 15, but now just based on how I want to cut them. But the main thing now the length of the dress of the half length. So I don't put my half length 15. Then I'll go ahead put my shoulder to under bust 13 inches and my shoulder to bust point or shoulder to nipple. Now my nipple to nipple now 7. I'll go ahead divide them by 2, which is 3.5. I go mark that 3.5 from where I mark my shoulder to nipple down. Note, I will mark that 3.5 nipple to nipple I get. I'll mark them from that shoulder to nipple point down to the half length. I'll come connect the lines together. The next thing I will mark now my shoulder. My shoulder length now 15, which is 7.5. Then I'll come down by 5 inches from the shoulder and I'll connect the straight line. I will come join this 5 inch where I don't come down. I will connect them to the shoulder to nipple point, but now with curve. I will curve and no go just this straight. The next thing I go do now to mark 2 inches up to the shoulder to under bust. This now to form the dart for the bustier. So mind you, I will extend that under bust line so that I go see now there is stop. That 2 inch where I mark out, it could stop for the under bust. So now the next thing I go do now to mark half inch inside. So I use 2.5 for this, but if now the person doing a very busty side, if you use 3 inches, so half go there inside. This half inch I will extend them to the nipple side, not the under bust. I will extend them go the nipple. Now I'll come cover them from the nipple side. I'll cover them go out for that 2 inch where I mark out that under bust. You see, don't they give that curve of the breast cup. So the more you make them wider, like as I do on 2 inch, if you make them to 3 inch, the more bigger they make the cups be. But this now the average size way I use. So 2 inch half inch inside. So since na 2.5, I go carry that 2.5 mark am 2 from that 5 inch where I mark for that shoulder point, if you remember. So I will come extend the line up exactly like this. Then I will go by 1 inch. I will connect them. Not all, I will not connect and reach the nipple side. I will just cover them like this, may almost reach there, so that I go they separate. So this side where they cut now the center back. And they cut them from that half inch where I take in from the half length down. Then I'll come cut the bust side exactly like this, follow the curves like this. So mind you, if you use curve rule, but if you use freehand too for the curve, just make sure say it come out exactly like this. Now I'll come go ahead, cut out the whole part where I don't mark with my chalk like this. So after I cut and finish, you need to make sure say this bust side dey on top the center back exactly as I put am. I'll come making sure say opening dey for that place. Then make I still cut am again, so shows that small space go dey between the center back and the main side bust. So I will just go ahead do them exactly like this. But if your own space already there, no need. Now I will go ahead put my basic measurement, my bust divided by 4 plus 2 inch, my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inch allowance. The same thing too for the lower waist. I'll go ahead add 2 inches. So if you dey mark the measurement, make sure say the bust dey exactly on top as I put them on top the center front, sorry, not center back, the center front, sorry. Next thing I will mark my armhole. For the armhole depth, I go down by 9 inches. Then I'll come connect them straight like this before curving it. And this now wonder say why I no cut the armpit first. Now because we need to first cut that out and everything before we fit get the armhole curve. If not, if you cut the armhole curve finish, it no go align later. So now I don't go ahead cut everything out, including the armhole, and that is all for cutting the front part of your bustier. Okay, for the downside, I'll go up by half inch. This now so that no excess go dey for the down of the dress. Remember I said half length, you know, get excess for down, we go to do galloping where you wear. So now for the neck, I go in by 4.5 inch for the width, and for the depth I come down by 3 inches. Now these 3 inches I go use now to cut the back, but mind you, I go still come down again for the front by 5 to 6 inches. This now just cut them exactly like this, so I go use and take cut the back. Then for the shoulder point, I'll come down by half an inch or 1/4 of an inch. I'll come connect them to the neck line. This now so that I'll give them a slant, so that the shoulder go dey, e no go stand, it go slant because the shoulder no stand. So you remember, so now after I don't cut the front, remember say the wrapper dey unfold when I dey cut them. So we get two side bust and the center front like that, like this. So the next thing I will do now back. For the back, I no cut them separately because I want me dey exactly. So I will just go ahead, carry my front part and wide already cut, place them on top another folded material, cut the back. So the back will place them exactly like this, but leaving 1.5 inch for zip allowance. Remember your zip allowance, and we'll go open them. The zip allowance go dey open, so I will open them, come notch them, so that I will go able to know where my zip allowance dey when I dey sew. I'll go ahead mark the back so that I will know the difference between the back and the front. Now remember the down part of this blouse or the top, the downside go dey like a line. As you see for that picture, we'll cut them like it, I no go dey straight. So I'll go ahead mark the length. The length where they use now 27. So I'll go mark 27. Then I will go ahead from the waist, I will mark my hip line. I will come put my hip measurement and my waist measurement, just as we do our skirts. But the difference be see, from that hip side, I will just extend them like flay, just carry them straight, you know, cover them like we do with a curve the straight skirt. So now I don't cut the front, I will go ahead place them on top another folded material, cut the back. The back will leave 1.5 inch, remember, for this zip allowance. I leave 1.5 inch, or if you use 2 inches, whichever one you want, but you must leave like up to 1 inch allowance for the zip. So I will just go ahead cut them exactly with my zip allowance. After I cut them exactly, I will go ahead open the zip allowance part. So mind you, if you dey cut this down part, remember say your half length now 16, so you go minus some from your from the length of the blouse for you to get the down length inside where they cut. So now this the back. I don't keep the back. This one at the front. Remember I said the front it gets double slit, so we'll go ahead cut that slit. So I'll go mark 5 inch from the midpoint of this front pattern. I'll mark 5 inch down, then I'll come cut them exactly like this, 5 inch. Then I go cut like this. Then I'll go ahead cut the lining and everything out. I'll cut the lining for each part of this dress. I will notch the center so that we know the center part. So the same thing I will do for the other sides. So we get the center, then we get this one. We go there the sides, which now 2 go there the side like this. So by the time we don't finish, go they open like this, exactly like this. Now so go they open. So now for the hands, the sleeves, sorry, I go for the ankara. I go ahead make it go dey longer than my normal sleeve. I already get video on how to cut your basic sleeve pattern, so I will leave the link for the description box too. So I will just go ahead use this say lace the inside, lace where I already cut as my pattern guide. Then I go extend them. The lace length of the lace sleeve than my normal sleeve length, my long sleeve length, but for the ankara I go dey longer. I go down by 3 to 5 inches based on how long you want make this ankara dey, because you know say they longer. Next thing, for that slit wey dey there, I'll come down by 5 inch from the cap side of the sleeve. Then I'll connect them down. I'll come in by ½ inch for the downside. I'll come connect them slanted exactly like this, so that I will get for that opening we did the center of this style. So now so you go take I'll go ahead cut the second sleeve too. Now for the front side of the blouse, sorry, the up of the blouse, remember I say get half length. I'll go ahead put gums, paper gum. So I know they use stage, the other one I use paper gum, this one. So now this paper gum I will use take place for all the parts of the upper, the half length, both the back and front, for the half length only, not the skirt, not the down length of the blouse, but for the half length of the blouse, that is the bustier side. Now we'll go ahead put this paper gum. So now need that part go carry paper gum. So I'll go ahead, can't use my iron. I will trim them exactly as I know trim the material, just the paper gum now they trim out, no trim the material. So I don't go ahead put the paper gum for each part of this upper half length, that is the bustier side, for the back, everything. Then I'm going to go ahead to dip in the front. Remember I said the center front, I go dip in and I go down by 5 inch. Now for the wording, you see I bring out one, that one they soft, this one they hard. Now the strong one I use. So if you want to get your breast but ask for the strong one. Though if you use the soft one, that light one, or the medium size, but they like use this stronger size, the stronger one, sorry. So I go fold them into two, making sure say the gum side, the side where they rough, where the gum they under my bust, exactly as I say put. I no put the back, now the back I put on top, that the place where the gum dey. I'll come cut them like this, just as I say cut them for this video. Now so I go take, cut them too. As I fold them like this, now for two I dey cut. So I don't go ahead cut them for two. Now so I go take place them. The rough side, that side we get the gum. Now we dey place for the back like this. We'll come iron them and it go gum. The same thing we'll go do for the side too. The side I'll go ahead cut them out. I will just place I just cut them randomly, you don't get any precise measurement or a precise pattern. So now I don't go ahead gum everything with iron, you don't get any special way. If you just iron them, making sure say the gum they exactly directly under, it will just come. So that's all. Now only the bustier side, now they put the wording, the breast part, sorry. So after I don't put the breast part in, I don't go ahead cut out the lining for each piece of waiting we don't cut. So both the sleeves, the hand, the downside and the skirt, everything I don't go ahead cut. So this now everything for the cutting. For the next video I will show now how to go about the sewing process. So see you now for the next video. Bye.